This is going to be about Uncle Tom's Cabin. And I should say that last weekend we visited the Harriet Beecher Stowe house. It doesn't look like it did when she lived there. It's been added on to quite a bit, but they're trying their best to preserve it. They don't have any money. And we went. I was feeling an absolute obligation to read Uncle Tom's Cabin. I did not want to do it, so I was putting it off. But that sense that I should do it nagged at me. Then I saw how long it was, and more than ever, I did not want to read it. When at last I did begin to read it, all of my objections faded away. I very much enjoyed reading the book. I thought it was all going to be a roiling, turgid drama, and it was not. The author is listed as being a humanitarian and a novelist, and she is, fully, both of those. I thought the book was going to be a dry and righteous sermon driven by an idea. The idea is always there, that slavery is a monstrous wrong, but this is a novel, peopled by characters the author invests with uniqueness and vitality. Let's consider the idea first. She is ever insistent on it. Chapter 4 of the book is entitled, Showing the Feelings of Living Property on Changing Owners. The book refers to slaves in many ways throughout: things, property, intelligent stock, articles, chattel, darkies, niggers, freight, and livestock among them. Yet with every stroke of her pen, she makes us see them as people. She is always pondering slavery as both a terrible evil and the law of the land. The buying and selling of these people is both an everyday incident of a lawful trade and one in which the weak are broken and torn for the profit and convenience of the strong. She shows again and again the horror of being stole, families split and separated forever. This is so whether the treatment is kind or brutal. That is her chief and powerful point, and she hammers it home. As for her novel, many people pass before us in the course of her diverse and intersecting stories. There are a few central characters and others decidedly minor, but all are sketched convincingly. Dinah was a character in her way, she writes, and it would be an injustice to her memory not to give the reader a little idea of her. Of another, Topsy, she writes, she is fairly introduced into our corps de ballet and will figure from time to time in her turn with the other performers. Midways in the book, she turns to what she calls the adventures of the higher born, and for a while I felt like I was back in the pages of Tolstoy. She reveals a Louisiana family, husband, wife, and daughter, and their slaves, all visited by a sister from Vermont. The group is lovingly and extensively described, and they spend many pages discussing the system of slavery, its essence, and its consequences. Of the ones who employ it, the masters, some know it is wrong, some think it is no sin, arguing that in many cases the blacks might be better off, while others deplore it completely. This is all very well, but is really a tangent to the main powerful thrust of the book. She does ratchet it up to its full melodramatic potential, however, by illustrating the deaths of the angel child Eva and the tortured gentle master, St. Clair. It is his unexpected passing, the result of trying to break up a fight in a tavern, that causes Tom, who was about to be freed, to be sold to Simon Legree. Legree is the lowest condition of humanity imaginable, cast in the form of a man, mean, cruel, and faithless. And Tom, the hero of the book, falls into his clutches. Rather than use him, Legree prefers to break him. Tom is sent to the deepest pit of hell, but he does not become a demon. He is told, look for yourself at the dogs you work with. When they are brutalized, they become nothing but brutes. That is true, but not about Tom. He faced the gloomiest problem of this mysterious life constantly before his eyes: souls crushed and ruined, evil triumphant, and God silent. The author wonders, how is it possible for the untaught heart to keep its faith, unswerving, in the face of dire misrule and palpable, unrebuked injustice? Tom manages. The slaves in this book reminded me of the soldiers I was just reading about. The crucibles of war and slavery test the mettle of men. A young white friend, the son of a former owner, finds Tom as he is dying from a savage beating, and he is outraged at such treatment. Legree says, "After all, what a fuss for a dead nigger." Nigger is pronounced many times in the book. That one use of it is shocking. The young man knocks Legree to the ground and takes Tom's body away for burial. The author would be shocked and truly disappointed at the way American society has remembered her Uncle Tom, her hero, brave and true beyond words. He is seen as the flunky of the white man, a sheep, a fool, a craven, badly deluded creature, Uncle Tom. Compare him to Tarantino's Django. Django is visceral, vengeful, victorious, exultant, destroyer of his foes. Tom is crushed, defeated, dead. Tom suffers everything: the loss of wife, children, safety, freedom, and he does not strike back. He counters suffering with faith, and that faith is strong enough to endure the lethal treatment he receives from Legree. Tom follows the path of suffering set by Jesus to rise from misery to eternal joy. Tom is not just human, he also has a soul, and he lives as a soul. To denigrate him now, to call someone in derision an Uncle Tom, is to completely misread, ignore, or dismiss the champion, the knight, that the author created. American culture, engaged in the pursuit of happiness, does not believe in Christian deliverance. We do not know the meaning of the word Amen.